What's up, you guys? Hope everybody is having a great Tuesday night. As promised, I am coming to you guys live. And in just a minute, I'll give my special guest a chance to log on so he can join us. But we are going to be talking about Shakeology and the Beachbody Performance Line tonight. And we will have Dr. Luigi on with us. He is in charge of all supplements and Shakeology and all of those things. So he's going to be joining us. I'm going to give him just a second. Let me see if I can find him. Hold on. You all know this takes, there we go, invite. We're already doing better than we did the other night. All right. Luigi, the invite has been sent. So once you accept it, you can join in our conversation. You'll appear on the screen with me and we'll start answering some questions. Give me 1 second, guys. Allow your viewers to request. No, that's not what we want, but we do want Luigi. Where are you at, Luigi? All right, the invitation has been sent. So can you guys believe, I'm just waiting for Luigi to accept my invitation, but can you guys believe we just checked off another day? Another workout has been retired. Booty Day is in the books from phase 1. That is 2 down, so we've got 4 to go, which is amazing. And then we're on to phase 2, 6 new workouts. Whoop, whoop. Luigi, are you on? Do you see my request? Can you accept it? Hopefully you're on your phone because I don't know that you could do this from a laptop. No, you guys, please don't request to join the video. You guys, I love you all, but you can put your comments below, but you can't request to be in the video. It'll just be myself and Luigi. I know y'all want to make special guest appearances, but we can't have that tonight. All right, I'm going to see again. Luigi, where are you? Luigi, if you're watching, can you type in the comments that you're watching so I can see that you at least know I've sent you the invite? This is the beauty of Facebook Live, you guys. It gives you all these options, but like it never makes it super easy. Luigi, where are you? I'm trying to bring him on camera, y'all. I don't know where he's at. I know he's watching. I just talked to him on the phone. So I'm just waiting for him to figure out how to do this. Oh, hi, Sarah. But if you're going to bed, it's okay. Go to sleep and I will post this video. I'll pin it to the top of the page tomorrow and you guys can watch what Luigi and I chat about. We're going to be talking all about Shakeology, you guys. Shakeology and the Performance Line. Luigi, okay, I see that you're on. Luigi, if you're on your phone, that's going to be the easiest way to do it. I sent you an invite to join the chat, so you have to accept it, and then it'll let you pop up. Do you see the invite that I sent you? I see you saying hello, texting it or typing it, but I need you to accept the invite to join the conversation live. Yes, Danielle, Luigi is awesome. And as soon as he accepts it, we'll be talking to Mr. Awesome and he'll be answering lots of awesome questions. So, let's see. Luigi, do you see the invite that I sent you? I see you're typing, you're ready to go. Luigi, you got to do this from your phone, bro. I sent you an invite, but I don't know. If you're on your computer, I don't think you'll be able to do it. You have to be on your phone to join in the chat. So I sent you an invite. On the bottom left corner of your phone screen, Luigi, there's a little person with like an arrow. That's where you'll see the invite. So click on that little person icon on the bottom left of your screen, and that should show you the invite and let you join us. Yes, technology is amazing and stressful all at the same time. Yes, Dr. Luigi is who is joining us in just a second here. Can I help you? I'm waiting on Luigi. My son's over here asking me to buy him books for school. You have to let me do my thing.
But I want some books.
Okay, shh. Luigi says okay, wait. No. Other people are requesting, you guys, don't ask to join the video. Everybody else, don't ask to join the video. You can't join the video. You're watching the feed. That's all you need to do. This will just be myself and Luigi in the video. If you have questions, you guys can post the questions, but just give us just a second longer.
Can I join the video?
No, you have to go in the other room. And hopefully we'll figure it out. Okay. And we're waiting. Luigi still says he's looking for it. So let's see. While he looks for the invite, Luigi, I thought you were at Beachbody headquarters. I thought you were at Beachbody Westlake so somebody from tech could help you. Yes, Jeremy, we can talk about creatine. Absolutely. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm going to start reading some questions that you guys have on Shakeology. And we'll see if I can't start the conversation with you guys. And then hopefully Luigi will find the invite in just a second and join us. So, one of the first questions was, can you use Shakeology twice a day? Is it recommended? Here's the thing. You absolutely can use Shakeology twice a day, but everybody is different. So me personally, my philosophy is going to be, I love that you guys use Shakeology as a red. It has amazing benefits. Obviously, we're going to dive into those deeper. I think that personally, I prefer you guys to get your nutrients from a food source, not necessarily a shake. And I don't want to say it's not a natural food source, because it is. But like, I want you to eat fresh vegetables or frozen vegetables, like in their whole form, and I want you to eat protein in its whole form and that sort of thing. But that being said, if you're in a bind one day and you need a quick another protein, you need a quick another red, you can absolutely have 2 shakes a day. So, but like I said, I think it's better to have your 1 shake and then to eat your whole foods to get all of your containers in, and to use that second shake if you're more so in a bind. I am just trying to figure out how we're gonna get Luigi on here since he is struggling to join. Luigi, are you still on from your phone? I'll go to the next question in just a second, you guys. Are you on from your phone, Luigi? You guys, I'll answer some of these other questions in just a second, but I definitely want to get Dr. Luigi on just because obviously he's the special guest and we're going to talk all about Shakeology and the Performance Line. And while I can definitely go on and on about it, I want the expert on. So, Luigi, are you still on? Are you on from your phone though, Luigi? Okay, so Luigi, if you're on from your phone, you can ask to join the conversation. All you have to do is click that bottom right person and ask to join the conversation, and I'll just accept you into it. So don't worry about looking for my invite. Just ask to join the conversation, and I'll accept you in. Sorry, Becky, I can't let you in. You're watching, that's how you get in. But I'm only bringing on Luigi live with me. Okay. But Luigi, I need you to send me an invite to join. Y'all stop sending me invites to the video. Only Luigi. I love you guys. But only Luigi. So Luigi, you're going to click on the first white button with the green silhouette. Do you see that? And that'll allow you to ask me to join the conversation. But if you're on with your computer, you can't do it. You have to be on your phone. You have to be on your phone, Luigi. All right, hold on. I'm going to go on to the next question in 1 second. Otherwise, you guys, I might have to end the chat for a second, call him to walk him through it, and jump back on. Dom, I love you, honey, but you gotta let mommy. I'm not getting off. I'm working right now, my love. Okay. All right, we're gonna give him 1 more second to try to ask to invite, and then I'm gonna hang up and call him, you guys, and I will jump back on in a few minutes. I apologize about the delay. Yes, you need to be on your phone, Luigi. Thank you, Sandy. You guys, I swear, no matter how many times I try to be prepared for this, it's like we can't get it right. By the end of 80 days, we'll finally be inviting guests on properly. Dominic, honey. Go watch your movie.
But I'm doing this.
Dom.
I want to spin. Can I spin over here in the corner?
Okay, so we're just waiting. I think he's switching over to his phone. He's joining in, and he should be sending me a request, not a friend request, but he should be sending me a request to join the conversation.
Are you playing?
We're just, somebody's asking if Shakeology is safe for their 13-year-old. I'm pretty sure it is, you guys. Again, I'm going to let Dr. Luigi answer that, but I mean, I let Dom have it. I let him have a half a scoop when he drinks it. I mean, now that we have Daily Sunshine, he drinks that more than anything. But I've let Dominic have it for years, and he's good. He's a growing boy. Nothing bad.
I'm strong. I'm super strong.
Somebody said, order Dom some books. I did, or I will. Yay! Luigi, yes, okay. Okay, he sent me the request. I'm going to approve.
It's working.
And he's connecting. Hello!
Hey! That was only, what, 30 minutes?
That's all right, you know. We'll get better at it every time. Carl and I struggled with it, too, because you have to be on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good
So
to know.
welcome. Welcome to the 80-Day Obsession Coach Test Group.
Thank you.
We've got about 1.2 thousand people on with us right now, and they are all eager to talk to you. So I'm just going to start asking the questions, and we'll start running down some answers. And the first question we had, and I already sort of spoke to this, just my own personal opinion on it, but I want you to give yours, which is using Shakeology twice a day. Is it recommended?
Yes. So I've got like 3 people running around in my office here, and huge apologies to everyone who was waiting in the autumn. I'm sorry. I thought this was on a computer, but no worries, no problems. So to the first question, absolutely. Twice a day is, now it's not that we recommend it, but I do 2 shakes a day often. I do one for breakfast and I do one for a mid-afternoon snack. I think the key thing with this question, especially for those who are doing 80-Day Obsession or working out in any of the Beachbody programs, you got to hit your protein number. In Autumn, I know when you were in the office a couple weeks back, we talked about what you recommend with your meal plans, 30, 30, 40. So think about a typical young woman who's doing 80-Day Obsession, who's probably on about, let's say, a 2,000 calorie a day diet. They need about 30% of their total calories from protein.
Well, hold on. I want to stop you right there because I don't want to give calories because that's not accurate for us.
No.
So because average woman isn't necessarily on 2,000 calories, and I don't want to freak people out.
Right.
Because if they're in Plan A, they're anywhere between 1,200 and 1,700 and so on and so forth. So I think if we just keep it a little bit more to the fact of, you know, that they
30%.
can, you know, if they can use it, and the fact that it's not harmful. Sort of what I spoke to was the fact that with 80-Day Obsession, I prefer them, you know, to have 1 shake a day because they're also using, a lot of people are using the Performance Line, and I don't want all their nutrients coming from shakes. We want them to eat the whole food, right? Like the actual plant, if they can eat it fresh or that sort of thing. But but go ahead. But I just don't want to give out calorie ranges because I don't want to freak people out with them being not in that range.
And no problem.
Am I wrong?
I guess I guess the point is that if someone, let's say the average American, Canadian, or UK, or person in the UK, there's a minimum amount of protein that they need, even if they're not exercising, okay, which is like 50 grams for a woman, 60 grams for a guy. This is like the government established minimum. Clearly, if they're doing any workout, especially 80-day obsession, they're going to need more protein. That's like, you know, sort of like a basic fact. They're going to need protein for the, you know, establishing their lean muscle mass and for recovery for after a workout. So that's why we're always recommending a little bit more, you know, above what I'd say the government minimum. So if you have someone who needs, let's say, 70 grams of protein, if you want to be like very conservative, even 75, a shake is about 16 to 17 grams of high quality protein. Recover is going to be 20 grams. So you can see, even if you're having two Shakeologies, I totally agree with you, Autumn. We want to encourage whole foods. We want to encourage consumption of whatever the things that, you know, you individuals, you coaches like, whether it's salmon or beef or chicken, or if you're vegan, whatever you want to do. But if you're having problems hitting that protein mark, then you can do two shakes. Like I'll do two shakes and I do Recover as well. But I know people need to be very sort of conscious of what they're consuming. And of course, we want to sort of recommend whole foods. But yeah, in terms of if someone's having two shakes, it's not a problem. It's not a medical issue. It's not a legal issue.
Yeah, it's not going to be bad for you guys. That's the bottom line, is it's not bad for you, but obviously you know how many red containers a day you get, and you know Shakeology counts as a red. So you, like I said, I would say have it once a day, and on those days where you're in a bind and you need it for a second one, then great. But daily, I would try to make sure you're getting a wide variety for your red containers. Okay.
Absolutely.
So here's the next question, and this, I love this one. They want to know why the formula changed to adding sugar and taking stevia out. And
Right.
coaches are tasting the difference.
So the good news is stevia hasn't come out. We still use stevia in the formula in addition to organic cane sugar. So that's probably the change that a lot of folks have noticed. And of course, there's something called monk fruit. So there's this proprietary blend in the formula. I get on a lot of the training calls. I get to listen in with Isabel and I get to listen in with Darren. And many of you coaches ask about sugar. It's a very frequently asked question. So it's really important that we talk about sugar. Now, the first thing I want to mention before we get into the blend is a lot of market data research shows that a lot of folks who let's say purchase for the household want foods that are about 10 grams of sugar or less per serving. That's sort of the threshold where a lot of moms who shop will look for. We're about 7 grams per serving, so we're well below that threshold. And the proprietary blend of the organic cane sugar, the stevia, and the monk fruit really make the shake taste amazing. That's what is the special blend, sort of the special sauce that we use in Shakeology, which is why it tastes so incredible. So the good news is stevia never came out. We just wanted to use organic cane sugar. And my last point is, Autumn, the beauty of having organic cane sugar is the traceability. We know exactly where that sugar was grown. We know the farmers. We know what they're using on the soil. There's no pesticides, no herbicides, and it's certified organic. So I know a lot of people don't like sugar. It's vilified in a lot of places, but just understand we have a really good traceability on that organic cane sugar.
Yeah, and you guys, I see somebody saying, why add sugar at all? Because let's be honest, if you don't, you need a little bit of flavor to the shake, okay? So that you actually enjoy the taste of it. And obviously being at 7 grams is like nothing, you know. Oh, boss man, what's up?
A little closer.
You guys, look at this. You got everybody tonight.
Okay, now hold on. How do we make this go down?
Right.
Because you're making me nuts.
Carl's
Is it
coaching
driving
me.
you nuts that there's that much headroom?
It's ridiculous.
I'm set way back.
It's like we're not a production company. Come on, we got to teach you. You got to look good.
All right.
You're a good-looking guy.
He's doing some production and directing here in the
beautiful,
office right
talented. Look, we can't have anything. Now move over just a little bit so it doesn't look like the Shakeology thing's coming out of your head. Okay?
All right.
So there you go.
Nice.
All right. Now I think.
Ta-da!
All right.
We just
All right.
okay.
Here, move it a little closer. A little closer.
I'm coming in.
Just get it a little closer.
I'm tighter.
Here, actually, I'm going to move you just a little.
All right.
Get a little bit closer.
I can turn this light down too if you guys
it's
want.
Okay.
I feel a little scary.
All right. All right. I think that's pretty good. So turn down a little bit.
Oh yeah. We'll bring the lighting down.
The light.
Oh yeah, it's softer there.
Okay.
Oh,
so
wow, this is
Okay.
Huge improvement.
It's good to see y'all. Just wanted to make sure everybody's doing well. Drink your shake. It's good for you, man. You know. Okay, I'm gonna let you get.
I love it,
dude. What? You're soaking wet here.
The first 15 minutes was so stressful.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go get some Purell and.
So rough.
We're such a mess, you guys. We're such a mess.
Right
I love it. Okay, well, Boss Man helped us out there, so thank you. Okay, so, but
Thanks,
yes, the
Carl.
bottom line is we have to add a little bit of sugar for flavoring. Otherwise, people aren't going to enjoy the taste of the mixes of all of the amazing foods that are in it. So that's why we have a little bit of sugar.
Compliant. And to your point, Autumn, it's all about compliance. You can have all kinds of, customers. You can acquire lots of new customers. If the shake doesn't taste good, we know that folks aren't going to purchase a second time. So flavor is such a key thing, but we don't want to compromise our values on keeping the sugar below those thresholds. So that's why I mentioned the 10 grams per serving.
Absolutely.
Good point.
Love that. Okay, let's see. What else? Ooh, hold on. Where'd my questions go? Okay, I'm getting to the next one. Somebody wants to know if Shakeology can be used to make pancakes.
Yeah. So, this is an interesting question because I love pancakes. First off, I got to admit, this is like one of my vices. Now, technically, you want to think about what's on the label and what you're delivering with Shakeology or with any of the products. So there's a sort of commitment to the label, the amount of protein, the vitamins, the minerals, the phytonutrients, the adaptogens, the enzymes, the digestive enzymes that keep us regular and all that good stuff. When you start making pancakes, the protein amount's probably going to be the same, but we're most likely going to cook or bake out a lot of those nutrients, like the vitamins and minerals. A lot of these things are delicate, especially the digestive enzymes, those special enzymes that help and make you feel so good. So those are probably going to get destroyed with extreme heat. So you can make pancakes, you can make bread, whatever you like to do, but just realize what you're seeing on the label, you may not get those exact same nutrients, and they're most likely going to get cooked out. The protein most likely is not going to get denatured and broken down. You'll probably be okay, but you won't be able to give a customer sort of your special pancakes, and you won't have the vitamins, minerals, and trace elements and nutrients that we talked about. So now I love pancakes. And I'm sure Shakeology pancakes taste amazing, but just understand we probably won't have those nutrients. A lot of them are going to get baked out or cooked out.
Yeah, I think that's really important to keep in mind, you guys, because we've talked about it for a very long time that you really shouldn't heat it because, like Dr. Luigi was saying, the second you start cooking it and losing all of those amazing vitamins and minerals and digestive enzymes and probiotics, probiotics are like the most delicate little thing ever. So if you start cooking it, while it might make a tasty pancake, you don't want to lose the amazing benefits that you're getting from that shake. And there's tons of recipes out there that aren't cooked. We've got lots of different versions of like Shakeology protein balls, and Bobby and I have quite a few things with Fixate and in the cookbook and on the cooking show recipes. So there's lots of amazing recipes out there for how to make different things with Shakeology where you don't have to cook the vitamins and minerals and nutrients out of it. So definitely check those out. I'm going to jump around a little bit. I'm going to move over to a question about the performance line. The guys on here are really interested to hear about creatine. I'm not getting a specific question. They just want us to talk about it. So, obviously creatine being the thing that helps grow muscle mass.
Yeah.
Take her away.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a big fan of creatine. In fact, athletes have been using creatine for well over 30 years. It's a really great product because a lot of research has been done on it. It's super safe. And a lot of people back in 25 years ago used to talk about how creatine you got to check your liver and your kidneys. And there's been a tremendous amount showing there's absolutely no issues with creatine. So it's super safe. Just recognize that, first off, you naturally have creatine in your body right now. So you have it anyway. You also have creatine in meat and fish and chicken. Like when you're eating salmon, you get a tremendous amount of creatine. So it's naturally in tissues. It's in animal tissues. The cool thing is, if you're doing 80-day obsession, and I'm sure the intensity of those workouts, you may notice that when you're trying to get a number of reps finished, if you're doing one more rep, what often happens, and we won't get too technical and we won't geek out too much, but you've probably heard of ATP, adenosine triphosphate breaks off a bond, and creatine naturally carries a phosphate and donates it quickly. So you quickly can do that next rep or whatever Autumn you're walking your coaches through. They can finish the workout because creatine is a high energy phosphate buffer. It's really, really cool. So you naturally have it, but if you're going to peter out during a workout, if you take our creatine, it sits there in the muscle tissue and it waits and it waits. And then when you're just about to fatigue, it donates the phosphate and you finish the rep. It is phenomenal because it works so well in different sports and we love it. I would say, Autumn, a lot of women that I've worked with over the years will tell me, well, am I going to get puffy? Am I going to put on weight? You've probably worked with tons of clients who you've coached on creatine. I often say, if you want, you can dial down on the scoop. You can kind of reduce it in half. You don't have to do a full scoop. And if the guys want to dial up, no problem. You can do more than one scoop. So creatine, it's phenomenal. It's absorbed beautifully, and I just love it. So I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, I am too, but I am very quick to advise my ladies, honestly, to stay away from it because I'm on the front line getting them going, I gained 7 pounds. Right. And you guys, the way creatine is designed is water retention in your muscle. It's part of what helps the muscle expand so that it can grow and all of these things, but you will pretty much gain water weight with it. Now, the second you stop using it, it'll take about 5 to 7 days, maybe 10 at most, and the water weight will come off. But when you use creatine, it is designed mostly to grow muscle mass. Like, that's why my guys use it when they want to get bigger. And most ladies are not looking for that. Not all women. Some women really do want to get, like we have tiny women, little, and they're like, no, I'm trying to gain. Then that's great, and it's perfect for that. But for my ladies who are looking to get really lean and shredded and would freak out at the thought of seeing any puffiness in their body, I wouldn't recommend it because of that. Not because it's not great and it doesn't work, because you can absolutely use it, gain a little bit of that muscle size and that muscle strength, and then when you stop using it, the swelling will go away. However, as a lot of you have seen in this group, not all of you are very patient to go through that process. And you would have to know and accept that it would be that process that you would go through. And you'd come out shredded at the end, but in the middle of using it, you're going to have a little puff on you from water retention. So if that scares you, don't do it, just because I don't want to be the one having somebody go, the program's not working. And really it's just because you're using a supplement that makes you retain water.
Good points, Autumn. Really great points. And a lot of the early research done on creatine, when people were looking for the kidney liver issues, and there were none. But to your point about extra weight gain, what they did find with a lot of elite athletes, they'd have a muscle pull, because if they're carrying a couple extra pounds, they're not used to it, suddenly their Achilles tendon snaps. So they did see some interesting things. So I completely hear you on that. And you're right. Anyone who's very sensitive to it, or they know they're going to get puffy, as I've heard from some folks, you can completely pass on it. But I do think it's important, the point about if you got guys who want to gain mass, get strong, if they want to use a scoop. Years ago, you probably remember, Autumn, years ago, people would sometimes load up on 20 grams of creatine. There was a loading phase that we used to do for a week or two, and then you would kind of taper down to 5. So I hear you. Just understand that it's a great product, it's safe, but I completely hear, for those of you who want to get cut and ripped, which is most of you, you want to be conscious of how much you're using or don't use it. So great points.
Totally. Awesome. You guys, how fun is this? Okay. Let's see. So, I'm looking at our next question. Okay. I'm looking at some of these, and some of them I'm skipping over just because, is there a difference in the taste in vegan and regular Shakeology? Yeah, there's a little bit of a different taste. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking for the good ones. So, okay, here's the great one. Here it is. Why is it so expensive? I know we've talked about this forever. You might get Carl running back in behind your head because this is his favorite one to go on and on about. So it might happen. But why don't we touch base on that one and the benefits
Sure.
and why the cost is what it is?
Absolutely. So, I joined the company about 12 weeks ago. And for those of you who I've met, whether it was at leadership or some of the other events, Super Saturday in Dallas, I got to meet many of you. When you came in, Autumn, you did a phenomenal training. A lot of people have asked me about that. And one of the things that really attracted me to this company was Shakeology. It was specifically the way that it was designed. Because as many of you know, I've been working for another nutrition company for about 13 years. The shake was different. It didn't have the premium ingredients that Shakeology has. And so I was always looking for specific companies that were selling these type of ingredients. So I naturally was attracted here to Beachbody as a physician because I really like this plant-based blend with the whey and the vegan option and then the performance products. So the ingredients really attracted me here because of my background in nutrition and my personal interest in certain ingredients. Having said that, what I thought was really interesting when I started learning about the history of the company, you think about 9 years of Shakeology, best in class. I think of this shake as best in class. I'm going to tell you why. We can go through the checklist, and many of you know it. You could just get the back of your bag, and you can go through phytonutrients and protein. But when you think about the unique blend that 9 years ago, we were not only like the biggest kids on the block, we were like the only kids on the block. I mean, I wasn't in the company, right? But many of you coaches, you built this phenomenal company because of the incredible ingredients in Shakeology. So let's get to price. You want to think about what we're sourcing. First of all, it's the protein. This premium blend of protein, which is a lot of the plant-based proteins you find in both the whey and of course the vegan blend. These are a cut above what most companies are using. I'm not going to name any names of the other big companies out there, especially in the direct selling world. But if you take all the companies out there, there are over 700 companies selling shakes right now in our space, whether it's Costco, whether it's out there at Target, or you get direct order by mail, or if you're in a direct selling company, another one. Over 700 shakes, right? So think about the marketplace, how competitive it is. Having said that, if you really narrow down the amount of shakes that are really playing in our space with these what I consider the sustainable types of proteins, the high quality whey, the adaptogens. If you guys search for adaptogens, there are just about no other companies that sell adaptogens, especially with the complexity that we do, this unique, elegant blend. And then of course, the organic cane sugar. So I guess what I'm saying, Autumn, is if you start counting through the checklist of these unique ingredients, they are truly premium ingredients. Now, I have this incredible opportunity to work with the scientists who many of you don't see. They're behind the scenes. And part of my job, the reason Carl sort of brought me in the company, is to highlight the science, highlight the sourcing and the purity of the supply chain. It's something that we're going to talk about a lot more. We want to share with you a lot more so that you'll understand the value of why the shake has tremendous value. I look at it just, the adaptogens we're not allowed to make claims on. And I'm going to finish right here, Autumn, with this point.
Yeah,
we're not allowed to make claims. Okay, you cool? All right, because I want you, it's your call, so I don't want you to.
This is all the whole reason we're on. Go, take her away.
So the lawyers who are watching right now are going to be like, don't say it, Luigi, don't say it.
Say it.
So, I know, adaptogens we cannot make a stress claim on. We stay on the very conservative legal side, which is good. That's the right thing to do because we're a good, big company, right? And we're growing. So knowing that, this is what I will tell you, my personal testimonial. When I joined the company, I'm a big shake lover. And that's why I told you I drink, Carl is on the 365 program. That's what he likes to salute many of you. I'm like the 720, 730 guy. I'm doing at least 2 shakes a day because I'm a big shake consumption guy. I believe 1 in the morning after my oatmeal, and I have 1 around 3:30 in the afternoon for my mid-afternoon break. But here's the thing. Since I've been drinking the shake, I promise you, and I know you have a child, right?
Yeah.
I have 2 kids, a 4-year-old girl, and my son's turning 3. they drive me absolutely bananas at home. And I just sense that because of the shake that I'm drinking, I feel like I'm just better with them on the weekends. I'm not going to say it's reducing my stress, because that's a claim I'm not going to make. But what I will say is I feel terrific. And I have to count that up as some of this phenomenal, elegant blend that's in the shake. And it's just incredible. I mean, whatever they did with the blend, this proprietary special sauce that they put in is phenomenal. And that's why I feel so good every day. And when I wake up, I can't wait to drink my Shakeology to sort of get through the day, to start getting my steps. So I'll just kind of stop at that. But I think about the value perception of the shake. And then the last thing, think about what you, the coach, you add, because you are the shelf that delivers all the value of that shake. You can't buy it on the shelf. So you, the coach, you talk to all the folks. So I'm going to shut up there, Autumn, but I'm in love with this formula, and it just makes me feel so good.
No, I think that's amazing. And obviously, you know, we've talked about it for years, about just how many awesome ingredients are in that shake, and really, like Dr. Luigi saying, is like how good that shake makes you feel. If you look, I live in California, so I have a grocery store by me where I actually could buy almost every ingredient, not all of them, but almost every ingredient in that shake. It would cost me probably almost like $1,000, because this grocery store is insanely expensive. But then I'd have to go home and I'd have to figure out how to formulate it myself anyways. Well, how much of this do I want in there? How much of that do I want in there? Trust me, it's not coming out pretty when I try to do it on my own. So the amount of benefit that you're getting from the shake, the amount of ingredients that are in there that help your body, that serve your body. And I know, like we said, we can only make so many claims without getting in trouble. But if you just try it and you think about how you feel when you're using it, it's worth every penny. And I know we've gotten into this a lot where when people say I can't afford it and that sort of thing, even I kind of went back and forth with Carl about this the last time he and I talked, where I was like, look, I get it. At the end of the day, some people legit cannot afford it. But a lot of us can change the way we do things in life so that we can afford to take care of our bodies better, right? Like when you stop eating out all the time, eating out is so expensive. I went the other day to a healthy, like fast, I don't want to call it fast food because it's like a healthy chain out here.
Fast,
it was
casual.
I spent $27 on one stupid meal for myself. I was so mad when I left that restaurant, but I was in a hurry. And I was like, I can't believe I just spent that on one meal. Like, that's ridiculous. Well, I could have had a Shakeology for $4 and change. So when you think about it like that, you guys, it really puts it into perspective. I'm going to go on to another question. Okay, so somebody asked me what my thought is on taking 2 scoops of doubling up the scoop of Energize before a workout. I am going to let Luigi take it in a second about how he feels in terms of safety and all of that stuff. Personally, my thought is this. If you require 2 scoops of Energize before a workout, we have other things that we need to address about your self-care. If you need that much Energize going in to get through a workout because you're that tired, then we need to look at your sleep. Because if you're not getting enough sleep, your body's not recovering. You're not well rested. And that's going to affect your results way more than what you even do in that workout. Because if your body doesn't get the time to sleep and recover, your results aren't going to be there. So we need to look at what are the other foods that you're putting in your body. Are they foods that are going to fuel you throughout your day and give you energy, or are they foods that are going to make you feel sluggish? So obviously, if you're following 80-Day Obsession, it should be foods that are going to fuel your body, because that's the way I have it designed. But if you're cheating, if you're eating processed foods, lots of sugary foods where you crash off of them, things like that, that's what's going to leave you feeling like you need that extra scoop of Energize, right? So that would be something I would say, like, let's look at the self-care, because hopefully you should go through your day and not need those extra doses, right? Like I talk about this all the time. We're a society that lives on caffeine, but where's our water? Like water actually gives you energy, believe it or not. If you're dehydrated, you're sluggish, you have a headache, you don't feel right. So there's other things to look at, not just should I take 2 scoops or not. That being said, Luigi, take it away. And what is your thought on the safety of that and whether or not it should be done and that sort of thing?
Yeah. So it's a great, actually, it's a perfect introduction that you just laid out, Autumn. You're absolutely right. When you look at the phenomenal growth of a lot of these coffee chains and some of the commercial tea chains and the energy drink chains, and you all know the names of all those different companies, it is a multi-billion-dollar global expansion in the last 20 years. Why is that? Caffeine's been around and people have been drinking tea for hundreds, for thousands of years, right? But why is it that folks are so kind of addicted to caffeine? And I'm not painting caffeine in a bad picture. I've used plenty of caffeine in my life.
I love my coffee, but I stick to 1 cup a day. Go ahead.
Right. So think about it. So to your point, on 1 cup of coffee, that's 100 milligrams of caffeine. Let's actually put things in perspective. 1 cup of coffee, about 1 scoop of Energize, right? If you're doing 2 scoops of Energize, it's 200 milligrams of caffeine. So it's like having 2 coffees. I don't think it's a big problem if you're kind of spreading that through the day. A lot of doctors, even pediatricians, okay, which is kind of scary sometimes, they'll allow kids to have up to 300 to 400 milligrams of caffeine, depending on which sort of, believe it or not, the American Pediatric Society, they actually come out with some of these sort of limits. So now we're not recommending that. And the reason why they developed Energize to be around 100 is so that people can kind of dial it into that range. But if you think of, if you're going to your favorite coffee house, not saying you or any of your coaches, yeah, that's going to be 150 milligrams, maybe 200 for some of those super strong lattes or some of the energy drinks that people are consuming. So first off, understand caffeine is a natural stimulant, and you can find it in a variety of things. You all know that. It stimulates the central nervous system, so it helps you be more aware. We can't make a fat-burning claim, although we know that caffeine does help to stimulate the metabolism a little bit. So it sort of supports that, but we don't make a claim on that like it's going to get you more shredded. So I sort of agree with you on Autumn. We know that caffeine can dehydrate someone who is not using it on a regular basis, and that's where the water comes in. That point that you just talked about, you got to stay hydrated. I mean, with Beachbody, you got to be drinking more than the average amount of water, more than the 8 to 10 cups a day. You should be just guzzling water, making sure you're fully hydrated. And even then, sometimes you got to get more. So I do agree with you. I do know that I call Energize the hit record, Energize and Recover. When I came to the company, I'm like, well, these are hit records, right? Because they're so phenomenal with coaches and customers, and we have such great retention with these products, as with Shakeology.
Well, so let me ask you, I'm going to interrupt you really quick, because caffeine, not necessarily what I would think would be the issue, but when people use Energize, they get the tingly feeling, right? Some people get the red face. Some people get, you get this, right? And we all know, usually most people, a cup of coffee doesn't give them this or a red face or tingly lips. So there's definitely other ingredients in there that are stimulating us. So my question would be more about those than the caffeine so much, because obviously 2 cups of coffee in a day, no big deal. We've all done that. I do that. Like, I don't do it regularly, but I do it. But more the condensed formula of Energize with 2 scoops at one time, is that going to do anything, impact anything? Some people swear by it, and other people are like, "Oh my God, I'd bounce off the walls." So I'm curious, what is doing that?
So I'm going to go through some of the label ingredients here. Now, I don't know if you guys can read that, but let me just list a couple so you can, in case you can't read it. The quercetin, and I know some of the questions that we had discussed earlier was on sort of the quercetin, which gives it a nice color. It's a plant nutrient called a phytonutrient. Some people believe that may sort of provide that phenomenal tingle, that good tingling feeling that people like, right? That's also sometimes, someone had written in saying that there's a stain sometimes they feel. And I was suggesting to people, you can use a straw if you feel like it's staining your teeth. That was one of the FAQs that we got. I don't see that a lot with coaches or customers. The magnesium is a second thing. Magnesium is a phenomenal ingredient. It is a mineral that when you think about over hundreds of years, Autumn, our ancestors used to drink water that was coming from natural streams. It was very magnesium rich because that water ran through the rocks and it sort of leached out magnesium. Unless you get bottled water that's got good magnesium in it, most Americans, Canadians, and people in the UK and Western Europeans were magnesium deficient. It is a huge problem. We use magnesium citrate. You guys go to any vitamin shop or GNC, look for magnesium, it's going to be mag oxide. It is not the absorbable magnesium. Mag citrate, the one we use, which is a phenomenal agent, it literally does about 300 different chemical processes in the body and helps you thrive. So a lot of people, and I think it's the magnesium, quercetin, and some of those antioxidants that blend that give you that sort of that great feeling, that euphoria, and as you said, the tingle. It's pretty phenomenal. So I know people like the tingle, right? You were just talking about.
For sure. We're getting comments all about it. Right.
Yeah, and citrate, and any of you, please do market research. Mag citrate, this goes back to your point about pricing, and I don't really want to go there, but think about the quality of the ingredients that Beachbody sources. Compare those to a lot of other companies. I know there's a few companies that we hear about quite a bit, but over the 700 companies that are selling shakes, or the thousands of companies that are selling magnesium or creatine, none of them compare to us. We have very, very high quality and the best sourcing. So the tingle is probably the quercetin and magnesium blend. That's my physician take on it.
Awesome. So there it is, you guys. And there's tons of questions coming in. So what we'll probably do too, Luigi, is at the end of our chat, since this gets saved and pinned and post, is whether it's tomorrow or throughout, whenever, if you want to jump on and answer more questions, or even if you wanted to come live at a different point and just talk to them, like answering, because there's like even more questions on Energize, like based on my weight, based on this, based on that. But there's another topic I want to get to with you, and it is recharge and recover. So two amazing products, use them both, love them both. But one thing that I talk to people very openly about is the fact that, you know, they have whey and they have casein, and the fact that some people are sensitive to milk products, to whey, to casein, and that can make them gas, or that can make them bloaty. Because we've definitely had people in the group who are like, you know, this is how I'm feeling. And so I have to run sort of down the list with them of like, let's have you introduce new foods, you know, maybe cook your vegetables instead of eat them raw. But then we also need to look at like, did you just recently start using the Performance Line? Did you just recently start using Shakeology and your body's trying to adapt to all the amazing nutrients that you're putting in it when maybe it wasn't getting that? So lots of possibilities. So can we talk about recharge and recover a little bit, and how they're different and those effects and that sort of thing?
Also so great examples, Autumn, of another couple of hit records, especially Recover. And of course, it's like, you know, when someone breaks the internet with 80-Day Obsession, you, Autumn, and the team, and all of you coaches, you guys sort of like, it's caused this incredible spike in like the Recover, right? Which we love because more people are using it, more people are consuming it, and they get the results. So first off, Autumn and all of you coaches, I want you to imagine if you guys took a hammer and you went to the wall behind me and you broke a hole in the wall. Basically, when you do an intense workout, what you're doing, and Autumn, I'm sure you've been coaching on this for years, the concentric and eccentric contractions that you do, they actually damage the muscle tissue. You said this earlier when opening the call. And when that muscle tissue is damaged, it either gets repaired or it doesn't get repaired. When you have good nutrients in the body from whole foods and fantastic supplements like Recover and Recharge, while you're sleeping, while you're resting, or immediately after the workout, the recovery starts. Now, how does that work? Imagine that you knock a wall, you knock a hole in the wall, you got to start patching it, and you want to make it stronger. So the important thing is, if you look on the label of Recover and Recharge, you'll notice the fast-acting, intermediate, and sort of slower-acting proteins. So you just asked, Autumn, about the whey and casein. Whey is very fast, and that's the beauty of whey. It's a high-quality dairy protein. As soon as you finish your 80-Day Obsession, and someone's having their recover, the whey protein is getting quickly digested. It has a very high, what we call protein digestibility corrected amino acid score, the PD-CAS. That means it goes right in that muscle, starts fixing that hole in the wall. And then the casein is a little bit slower, intermediate and slower, and that kind of helps rebuild that muscle tissue in a prolonged way. So you get the blend of the fast, medium, and slow. That's what you need. To your point about if people have, let's say, if they don't deal too well, if they have a little bit of an intolerance, maybe they can dial the amount down to half a scoop. And I know you make a great point, Autumn. Some folks aren't used to protein shakes. So when I used to see patients, and I bet, Autumn, when you counsel clients, when they start on protein shakes, especially when you're training them, they're working out, they may report to you like when they go to the bathroom, they're sort of like if you had a pet rabbit and you clean the rabbit cage and there's little pellets of poop, not to be graphic, but that's how your clients may say, I'm pooping like a rabbit. You're like, whoa. And that's sometimes them getting adjusted to the protein. So fiber, we want them to take fiber. This is where I love the boosts, or if they're doing some fiber in their diet with salads, lots of fruits and vegetables, or the digestive health boost with 7 grams of fiber. So important because it really helps those folks who are just getting adjusted. Or like you said, they can sort of dial it up, start slow and move up. Of course, and my last point, Autumn, if someone's really just not doing well with a dairy protein, you can move them on to, let's say, vegan Shakeology. We don't position it that way. You know, we really want them on recover and recharge because they're so good for the recovery. But if they're, you know, you don't want to lose that customer if they're like, I can't do dairy. Just put them on vegan Shakeology. It's fantastic. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, that being said, you guys, you with Shakeology, you still use it as a red. You can't just sub it in for chocolate recover or vanilla recharge and not count it. Obviously, we don't count the performance line towards containers. So, but you absolutely can make sure that they're using vegan Shakeology. And, you know, the one thing that I think I haven't touched on that I will say about this and about the gas and the bloat and that sort of thing is, if you're new to healthy nutrition, okay, let's say you just started 80-day obsession, and before that, you know, we just came off the holidays. Let's say you've been eating pretty crappy for the last couple of months, okay? And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm doing 80-day obsession, and I'm going 100% in. So you're following the Time Nutrition Meal Plan. You're using Shakeology, and you're using the Performance Line. There is a such thing as too much too fast. Like that is an overload of healthy nutrients in your body. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but what I mean is it's a lot for your body to take in all at once. It's actually quite a bit of fiber because just between the portion control containers, you're going to get lots of fiber. And then you're going to drink Shakeology and get lots of fiber. And then you're going to use the Performance Line. And it can be a lot for your body to start processing if it's not used to processing all of those healthy nutrients. And you might get gas and bloating from that because your body's detoxing all the bad out and trying to process all this new super duper healthy food that it's like, oh yes, I can use this. And so all of it at once might be a lot. So you might have to baby step yourself in. It doesn't mean you can't use it, but you might have to go, okay, for the first 2 weeks, I'm going to use Shakeology. And then, and the third week, I'll keep using my Shakeology and I'll introduce Recover. And then 2 weeks later, I'll introduce Vanilla Recharge, so that it just gives your body a little chance to figure out what's going on. Just like I talked about with the workouts, like your body needs a second to figure out what is going on. And if you throw it all in at once, it's going to go, I don't know what to do. So don't freak out about that. But there's always ways that we can sort of baby step into it. Okay, I'm getting a lot of questions. Thank you. A lot of questions in the chat. Well, I'm just going to take a few more for right now, for tonight, about thyroid or kidney issues, and if Shakeology and the Performance Line are okay if you're like on thyroid medicine, or if you have kidney issues or that sort of thing. Are they able to use the products?
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's a great point. So I always do the standard medical disclaimer, especially as a medical physician who's representing you, the coaches, and working in partnership with Autumn and the other trainers. So it's always important, if you've got any new customer or any new coach who's on a medical condition, or if they're taking a medication, seeing a physician about a condition, you always want to refer them back to the physician. I know you've heard this a bunch of times, like a broken record, but it's really important, not so much from the medical perspective, because there's no issues with any of our products interfering with any of that medication, especially thyroid medication. But it's often more of a sort of like an ethical, legal thing. You want to make sure that they're being guided by their primary care doctor. Now, in my former life, working in the university where they had certain blends of shakes at UCLA, they would sell soy shakes in this medical clinic where I worked. And then at my last company where I worked, we had a lot of soy-based shakes. Now, here at Beachbody, we don't do soy. We especially stay away from genetically modified products like GMO soy and corn, which is a great thing. But that was a hot button issue that I'd hear all the time with people who had thyroid issues because the soy may interfere with some of that. That is not an issue here because those ingredients are not really interfering. The anti-nutrients in some of those blends are not would interfere with medications. Here, that's not really an issue. I would say though that we do have antioxidants. We have powerful antioxidants in our products. And so if someone is, let's say, on a medication and they're noticing like, hey, it's not working as well, they should definitely consult their physician because the beauty of antioxidants and phytonutrients is sometimes they can actually work against certain pharmaceuticals or they can kind of counteract them. So I always say, don't act like the physician. Make sure, that's like, you don't have to worry about that. That's not your job. Refer them back to their doctor, but just understand that the products are, they're food-based, they're whole food-based, protein-based, and all the macro and micronutrients. So it shouldn't be an issue. But I always steer clear of the legal ramifications and say, yeah, talk to your doctor. Shouldn't be a thing. And last thing, Autumn, I often say, be proud. You don't have to bring in the whole, tub of Recover and put it on the doctor's lap and say, can I take this? But what I would say is download the label. Just free download, get it, or click it and take a picture, download it, and show it to the doctor on your smartphone. And I always ask the doctor. I tell my clients and I tell coaches, don't say, hey, doc, can I take this? Because doctors are confused. Autumn, doctors don't know nutrition. So what I often say is there any ingredient on the label that you don't want me taking? Now you're asking an active question to the doctor, and the doctor has to think, and they say, oh my gosh, this is an amazing product. Great nutrients, no issues. So that's why I always like to challenge the physician or whomever you're seeing, chiropractor or holistic physician, and have them do some work and look at the ingredients because we got an amazing blend.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, last couple of questions where there was one I just saw that I wanted to touch on. Somebody was asking me why we don't count the Performance Line as containers. So when the Performance Line first came out, it was something we talked about in great detail, myself and the nutrition team. But here's the thing. The way the Performance Line works, you guys, it's not food, right? Like these are supplements. It's different than Shakeology. Shakeology is almost a form of food, right? Like we've taken all of these foods and put them into a powder and put them in a bag. The Performance Line, if you look at it, is vitamins and minerals and protein, like whether it's coming from whey or casein or whatever it might be. But that's all it is, right? You're not looking at it and seeing quinoa in there or ashwagandha or things like that. You're not seeing actual food in the protein, in the Performance Line. So it's meant specifically for performance. It helps enhance your performance, whether it's Energize, which is just, caffeine essentially, right? We don't count a cup of coffee as anything, so we wouldn't count that. Or Hydrate, we don't count water as anything, so same thing. It's there to hydrate. Yes, there's about 15 calories in Hydrate, but that's negligible when you're talking about your day. And then you look at Recover and Recharge, and they're very specifically timed when you use these products and how you use them. That's why we don't say mix it with milk or mix it with coconut milk or whatever it might be, because it's very specific how we want you to use it. If you started mixing it with other things, then we would need to start adding in container counts. Just like right now in 80-Day Obsession where I say like, have your chocolate Recover and a purple. Well, you have to count your purple, you count your fruit, but you don't count we're not recounting the recovery or something. It's designed specifically to help the recovery process of the muscle. Also, if you look at your calorie brackets, you see that your calorie brackets are a range, right? Like bracket A is 1,200 to like 1,799. So you have this playroom but depending on the foods that you're picking, because not every food has the exact same amount of calories and the exact same amount of protein, carbohydrates, fat. They're all a little bit different, which is why each bracket has a range. So even if you're using the entire performance line every single day, I think it comes up to like 300, 330 calories ish if you were to use everything in a day. It would still basically have you within your range, give or take. So it's very specific, it's very precise, it's very timed in terms of what it does. So for lack of a better word, we count it as free. You get those free calories, if you will.
Yeah, great points. I would just add, Autumn, what you just said is spot on, because when you register, let's say, a shake that is really a meal, like it's whole food, we often think of that, you know, we used to call it the healthiest meal of the day, because it really is sort of designed like a meal. Because it's so low in calories, Shakeology, it is, you know, 130, 140 calories. It doesn't really qualify as a meal replacement in the UK, Canada, and the US. If you bump it up to 230 calories, now you've got a meal. But you're right, with the performance line, think about it, it's not designed to cover all those macro and micronutrients. It's really designed, as you said, for recovery performance. And that's why they put in the pomegranate and the tart cherry, because those antioxidants are going to help reduce the inflammation, gives you the claim of delayed onset muscle soreness reduction, feel better after your 80-day obsession workout. So you're spot on. I completely agree with you on that. There's one, I think of one thing as sort of like a food, and the other is, like you said, a supplement.
Yeah. Okay. So last question is sort of, we got a lot of questions about the performance line. There's tons about Shakeology too. But a big question, and since we are using the performance line so much with 80-day obsession and it's prescribed into the program, is they're asking, what's the difference in how recover works on your muscles versus how recharge works on your muscles? Like, why two shakes?
Absolutely. So you want to think about, first of all, the three types of proteins, or I should say, the fast, intermediate, and slow-acting proteins that we discussed earlier. You know, damage the wall. You want to patch the wall and build it stronger. It's exactly what all of you who are in the test group are doing after you've done a hard workout. Damage the muscle tissue in a good way. It comes back stronger, especially when you're providing those nutrients. And the literature has shown, the science has shown, that if you can get in there quickly and patch the wall quickly, start working on that with a whey protein that's fast acting, and then you kind of build it gradually. Somebody who's going to come in and sort of put layers on that drywall, nice and easy. That's the casein. It's the intermediate and slower. So they both have those, recover and recharge. You want to think about, and so when you want to think about recover and recharge, the caloric difference is a little bit significant. Okay, so we're going to look at recharge at 100 calories. 30 calories is enough. That's something. So we're putting a little bit more in the recharge, a little bit more calories. And the another significant difference is the phytonutrients that we split. We use the pomegranate and we use the tart cherry. So you want to think of they're both these specific antioxidants, but we know that they have slightly different effects in terms of your delayed onset of muscle soreness. And that's why on the label, when you look right on the front, you'll see the speedy recovery and reduces the delayed onset of muscle soreness. It's really difficult to make this claim. So you have to include not only the protein, but the specific blend of the phytonutrients to get this claim. And that's why you won't see many products in the marketplace that will blend. You can get a tub of protein anywhere, but it's really unique to find that with a phytonutrient that's going to sort of reduce the soreness. So slightly different in calorie balance, slightly different. One's got the pomegranate, one's got the tart cherry. And then, of course, they both have the three types of, I should say, the fast, medium, and slow protein to patch the wall, if you think about it.
Awesome. Okay, you guys. I am going to end it there for tonight. I know it took us a little while to get going, but lots of great questions, amazing information. Obviously, thank you, Dr. Luigi, for joining us and for answering all of those questions. Of course, Carl decided to distract everybody right at the end with his question about pizza. So hopefully they all listened to your amazing knowledge about why those two products are different. But there are a lot of questions on here, you guys, so I will definitely have the team look at them and try to get back to you or give me answers, or if there's more questions that I can answer, or we'll just do it again. You know, we've got a lot more days to go, so we can absolutely bring Dr. Luigi back on and talk even more. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining us, and great job, everybody, finishing day 22. Another workout retired. Tomorrow we'll take on cardio, so everybody go get your rest, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks, everybody. Good night.